Hello. This month's Monthly Marvel is all about solving those perpetual problems that we face in life. Sticky problems like how to get unstuck or how to challenge our fears. Should be an interesting one. And the inspirational quote I want to share with you today is one by Anais Nin. It goes like this. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Anais Nin. Now it just so happened that I used this quote to be the start of a speech I did yesterday at Leeds City Toastmasters. And I used it to illustrate the essence of what is required when we want to make a change in our lives. Something that we haven't been able to do. Quite often you want to change something and you go out and you change it. You want to buy something, you go to the shop, you buy the thing. But I'm talking about those things that we procrastinate over, or those challenges that we quite often don't realise we can even achieve, because we just have a self-limiting belief about ourselves. We can't do something. So we don't even think that this challenge is for us. And Anais Nin's quote is, about the bud blossoming. Everything's in one state and it's all okay and it's all just growing. And at some point, it's just too painful to be this lesser form, this bud. It has to explode and blossom. And in my speech at Toastmasters, I also talked about, I had a couple of other quotes I shared, but I was talking about the bird that has to make its very first flight. The very last thing it wants to do is to leap out into the unknown, to be a victim of gravity, is how I put it. But it's the very thing it must do if it's to become what it truly is, a creature of the sky. Those are the gestures I used in my speech. My speech was about something I call counterintuitive thinking, or how to behave or be counterintuitive to overcome your biggest challenges, to overcome your biggest fears. And essentially, even though not everyone, even myself, probably truly understands what being counterintuitive means, I have it as doing the very last thing you would ever want to do in a situation. So the example being, if you have public speaking fear, the very last thing you ever want to do is speak in public. But that's the thing you have to do. And maybe people have a fear of speaking to a camera that becomes a YouTube video. Or maybe people have a fear of sharing their wisdom, their knowledge, because when you share what you have, you share what you don't have. Someone might be cleverer than me, for example. They may have a more insightful way of explaining what I'm trying to say. I may even be wrong. This just might be the limit of my wisdom, but I believe that the answer to your problem, a really big problem that you have right now, something you want to change, lies in going to that place you least want to go. The slight example I gave as well in my speech was about looking for things that you've lost. The fact of the matter is, everything that is ever lost is always found in the last place we look, by definition. The answers to our problems lie, sometimes the big problems lie in our understanding of sometimes we're a bud that needs to blossom, and it's painful blossoming. It's painful going from a caterpillar to a butterfly, I'm sure. Sometimes that's what the answer requires of us. That's how we need to grow. We need to go to those places. We need to do the very last thing we'd want to do. That's what I say, anyway. And that's why I chose this quote by Anais Nin, which I'll repeat to you again. But I'd love to know what you say. I'd love to know how you think that you've grown, how you think you've reached some of the biggest challenges that you've managed to achieve. How have you done this? Now, one of the big challenges I've got is I speak these videos, I speak these quotes on videos, and I'm happy doing it. But maybe I'm happy doing it because the videos get so few views, 20 views, 30, 100. No, imagine if I was saying this to 1 million views. Maybe I'd feel a lot less comfortable. There'd be a lot more pressure on me. So I have a challenge. Why am I happy with only a few people viewing my videos? I'll think about this. And I hope that you think about some of your biggest challenges as well. And this is the quote again from Anais Nin. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Thank you.